What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and that you're looking forward to the Dallas Cowboys beating a team that doesn't know how to come up with their own bit on Sunday night. The Dallas Cowboys taking on the Washington football team. They will likely be NFC East champions by the time that they do so, and they will have some information at their disposal, potentially about being division winners, and potentially, not even potentially, definitely which of their players are Pro Bowlers. That's why we are here tonight for a surprise live stream. Those of you that are with us live, you are awesome. You rule. We are podcasting this, by the way, on the Blogging the Boys podcast network as well. It is our Pro Bowl reaction show. We are about to react to all of the Dallas Cowboys named to the Pro Bowl. We'll, of course, be discussing, analyzing, dissecting, etc. The news will be out in about 14 minutes time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It isn't just me tonight. No, you are being joined by the one, the only, the handsome, the debonair from bloggingtheboys.com, the Blogging the Boys podcast network, Antonio Catalina. Anthony Catalina. Antonio, Tony, whatever. We'll figure something out. Tony, how goes it?
I'm good. How are you, RJ?
I'm doing well. Great to be here. Great to kind of figure out or react to, rather, who is going to be a Pro Bowler for the Dallas Cowboys. Ninja Nuts says none of the Cowboys are going to the Pro Bowl, but who gets selected? Ninja, of course, talking about, we don't want the Cowboys to play in the Pro Bowl because we want them to be in the Super Bowl, but it is a matter of selections and honors. I don't know, Tony, that being a Pro Bowler is as legitimate as it was once upon a time. All pro selections, definitely kind of the cream of the crop. But still, it is nice to be named a Pro Bowl. There are a lot of alternates that ultimately get named throughout the process. But tonight we will find out at the very least which Dallas Cowboys made it upon first selection.
I mean, absolutely. Like you said, there's some honor in it, and these guys love it, and it just validates the play they had, and ultimately, like the viewer said, you hope to not play in this game because you hope to play in the Super Bowl, but it's still very cool. Especially, I love seeing the guys who have never actually been named before, and it's their first time. So yeah, there's definitely something to brag about and be excited for.
Normally, and I wrote about the Cowboys offense struggling today at bloggingtheboys.com as I get my TV on NFL Network here. That's just the magic of a live stream. But when I wrote the story, Tony, the tweet that went out, I said, I have never in my life known the Cowboys to be this kind of team. We're about the same age, Tony, and I've never lived in an era where the Cowboys are carried by their defense, where their superstars are on the defensive side of the ball. This goes against everything I know. Would you agree with that? Is that fair to start things off?
100%. I think we touched on it in the roundtable. Typically we always thought of this offense and Dak Prescott was going to bail the defense out because the defense, we were going to have to get into shootouts with these teams. And it's unfamiliar territory right now. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
So in that sense, we're about to kind of predict who we think are going to be Pro Bowlers for the Cowboys. I think the two most locks are on the defensive side of the ball. Are they not? Like if you listed out, odds to make the Pro Bowl from highest to lowest, the two top odds on the Cowboys belong to Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs, don't they?
Absolutely. I mean, those are the top two of the top five defensive player of the year guys that are in the the odds makers too. So definitely.
So let's go ahead and ask the question, Tony. For everyone who's getting here early, the Pro Bowl roster should be released in about 11 minutes time. Which Cowboys do you think are going to make the Pro Bowl? If you're with us now live, we would certainly love to hear your answers. Mojo, the only, already got ahead, Tony, said Anger. Brian Anger, your boy, certainly your boy specifically, if anybody watches the roundtables. Diggs, Parsons, Martin, talking about Zach Martin, of course, and Tank. Now, Tony, I would submit to you, I don't think there's any way DeMarcus Lawrence makes it. Not that he's not worthy, but he hasn't played enough this year to justify that spot.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the absolute virtual locks are at least three right there: Zach Martin, Trayvon Diggs, and Micah Parsons. We may see some surprises there. I think that happens every year. We talk about snubs, we talk about surprises, but I think those are three virtual locks.
So we've got another Anthony says 70, 11, 7, talking about Martin, Parsons, and Diggs, and possibly 88 and 94. This is the Pro Bowl, Tony. So there is some Cowboys juice that can go into this. If you're, and I've said this before, if you are on a successful Dallas Cowboys team, it's a little bit easier to make the Pro Bowl than almost anything else. And so CeeDee Lamb has had a bit of a not down year, but not the year we expected at least. But he still has had some big moments, some sort of national moments. The game winner against New England. He's number 88. He's CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys are having success. I could see CeeDee kind of getting the benefit of the doubt, so to speak. I think Randy's more deserving, but I could definitely see CeeDee kind of skating in, so to speak.
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of a popularity contest in the Pro Bowl, and America's team and the Dallas Cowboys name goes a long way. The fact that you kind of had to like hint to it a little bit tells you how much do we actually really think he's a Pro Bowler. Yeah, he's had some high moments, but he's also had some lows too. But not to mention wide receiver across the NFL and the NFC specifically, super deep. So I think CeeDee Lamb would be an uphill battle to get in. But yeah, being a Cowboy, I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
What NFC wide receivers are slam dunks right now? I think, and you got to factor in the narrative too. I think Mike Evans is kind of a slam dunk, riding the wave of the Bucs being Super Bowl champions. Devontae Adams, so there's two. I think maybe DeAndre Hopkins is in there as well. So you've got three. We already found out for whatever reason the NFL had the Monday night games have their teams announced as the Pro Bowlers on their teams announced. Justin Jefferson was told that he is a Pro Bowler. Cooper Kupp, as Mojo the only mentions from the Rams. So you're right. There's just a lot of names there. It's tough to. I don't even think CeeDee's the most deserving receiver on his own team. So it's hard to get CeeDee in that conversation.
I mean, for sure. I think you just named 5 names right there that are as close to locks as you can get. I mean, Cooper Kupp is playing out of his mind. Justin Jefferson's already been told. And like you said, DeAndre Hopkins is on respect alone. There's some of these guys. Yeah, it's a tough room to get into this Pro Bowl on this side of the conference.
So we've had some people, Tony, in the comment section, because the question is, which Cowboys do you think are going to make the Pro Bowl? Some people have said this, so we'll put Sonny's Sim 1 comment up here. Curse has been one of the most consistent. Jaron Curse has led a social media campaign because for whatever reason, retweets are part of the Pro Bowl formula. And Jaron Curse trying to capitalize on that Cowboys brand. You think there's any way that Curse sneaks in, or you think that's just being hopeful?
I wonder if the way us as Cowboys fans feel about him is not universally shared in the same tone in national media, because I do think he's played exceptional. I think he's one of the best free agent pickups they've had in a while. So I do like the fact what he's done for the team. I wonder if I guess we'll see tonight if the national media and the national crowd feels the same way. So I think it'll be tough for him, but I do like him.
Mojo the only offers Curse is deserving, but I don't know. See, look, I love Jaron Curse. I don't know that I think he's deserving. I mean, you think he's one of the best safeties in the NFC? I mean, that's, just because he's playing well over expectation does not mean he's a Pro Bowler. Those are different things. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, fair enough. Exactly, because you came in, you wonder what his role was going to be on this team from the beginning. Rotational guy, could he have been a special teams player? And he ended up being much more than that for us. But that's what our expectation is for us. And around the league, yeah, there are safety may not be extremely valued in this franchise, but over the course of the league, there are some good quality safeties out there.
It to me, and I remember when the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall came out, I had no idea what that movie was. And I was with some friends and we were going to go to the movies, and, we get there and, it's like, what movie are we seeing? And somebody says, well, we're going to watch Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I had never even heard of this, never seen a trailer, had no idea who was in it, anything like that. Went into it totally blind, and it was awesome. It was hilarious. You know what I mean? But some of that was just like, I had no idea what to expect. You know what I mean? Right. That's kind of what Jaron Curse is. Like, he's that movie that you had no idea what was going to happen. Does that mean it should win an Oscar? Not necessarily, but it was still a good time.
I had the same exact feeling about Wolf of Wall Street for a lot of different reasons.
You had never heard of this? You had never heard of Wolf of Wall Street? You're an East Coast guy.
I swear to God, I'm not making this up. I watched this movie. When I popped it on, I was just in shock from the first scene. So I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, it's that's I had the same. I know exactly how you feel. Yeah, honestly.
So you didn't read the book? I read the book.
Oh, I did. Reading is it's not one of my top 3 hobbies. I can tell you that.
What are your top 3 hobbies, Tony Catalina?
Blogging the boys.
Nice.
Dallas Cowboys football.
Okay.
And I mean, that's probably it. Those are the top 3 right there, and the only 2.
Mojo the only says Dak's play as of late will eliminate him. We haven't talked about Dak Prescott as a potential Pro Bowl quarterback. I don't think there's any way. I mean, I really don't. Like, again, if you play the the NFC game, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, boom, like Dak's behind them. I think Kyler Murray probably edges Dak out in the NFC. I mean, I think Matthew Stafford's going to get a lot of votes just because of the LA thing and all the hype around them. I mean, Dak might be the fifth, highest vote getter in the NFC. Maybe the Cowboy factor plays a little bit large there, but I don't see Dak Prescott being an NFC Pro Bowl player.
I can see him being an alternate, but I just don't see him cracking that first original lineup. Like you said, you mentioned the three I think are going to be on the button: Kyler, Aaron, and Tom.
Well, we don't want him to be an alternate because he would only be an alternate if he was, available and
Fair
one of
enough.
those quarterbacks wasn't. Why would you say that? Why would you put that into the universe?
I don't want to put that out there. My bad.
Not cool. We are 4 minutes away from the Cowboys knowing how many Pro Bowlers they have, the rest of the NFL knowing how many Pro Bowlers they have. What's your number? How many Pro Bowlers you think this team's going to have, Tony?
We mentioned that there was top three, right, that are a lock in my eyes with the, Trayvon Diggs, Zach Martin, and Micah Parsons. But I would love to see Randy Gregory get in there. So
That's the one I think we're all hoping. Like that's the one we really want. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Give us that. It's our top of our wish list.
Absolutely. I think they find a way to get five. I could see Brian Anger being in there. We had a viewer mention that. I could see him get in there. And so I'm going to settle at 5 right now.
5. Roman 388 says 5 Pro Bowlers for Dallas. I think you're right. I think the Cowboy juice, if it carries one person, it might be Zeke. I don't think Zeke is deserving of being a Pro Bowler. I love Zeke, and not trying to bag on Zeke or anything, but I mean, who's a Pro Bowl NFC running back? Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook. We've got 2. Nobody in the NFC East. Nobody else in the NFC North. In the NFC South, Christian McCaffrey is not going to be a Pro Bowler this year. I mean, Alvin Kamara might make it off of reputation, like you said. And then in the NFC West, I mean, who's making it?
You're not Darrell Henderson, right? You're not talking about Darrell Henderson.
You're not talking about Darrell Henderson. You're not talking about Chase Edmonds or Elijah Mitchell or Jeff Wilson Jr. or whoever Seattle's running back is. I mean,
you might be onto something here.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's tough. Like it's Aaron Jones, it's Dalvin Cook. Those are the top 2. I mean, Dalvin Cook's number 1 from a performance standpoint, and then Aaron Jones. But even Aaron Jones has missed time this year. You know what I'm saying? So like,
right.
I mean, and they're not Cowboys. And then Alvin Kamara, and I think people kind of just like generally think the Saints or whatever this year. He's missed time as well. I mean, I know Zeke has had his issues this year, but I mean, there's a lot of people, you ask a non-Cowboys fan, we're at the time of fantasy playoffs and stuff, like your average kind of fantasy player. I think they still think Zeke is like what Zeke has been for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have Zeke on one of my fantasy teams, and you could not even just on like a statistical point, you could see it in the fantasy realm, because the Pro Bowl has that fantasy football type of feel to it, right? I mean, I feel like the fan voting has a lot of the fantasy flair to it, especially with the being a Twitter vote and things of that nature. But yeah, I mean, I think Ezekiel Elliott still, carries it. He's a popular figure on America's team, and I could see him sneaking in. I do think Alvin Kamara, I think you're right on the money with that. He's another one of those guys that might get in just on reputation. But yeah, you're hard pressed to find a plethora of running backs in the NFC side that would a strong case that is better than Ezekiel Elliott at this time.
Yeah, like there are some that I think you would rather have in fantasy. Like maybe it was Elijah Mitchell or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But, and that's what Roman 388 just said, the rookie from San Francisco, like, but there is a fantasy element, but that doesn't like, it doesn't take over everything. No. And I know Zeke's, the case against him is Tony Pollard, you know what I mean? But like, still everyone knows his name. Like there are few running backs in the conference that everyone knows the name of, and Zeke is one of them. I'm willing to say now that Zeke is going to make it. I'm going to go out on that limb.
Well, let me throw a little wrench in there for you. You just touched on it. Tony Pollard's average yards per carry has been pretty good. He's been explosive. Do you see Tony any way in your eyes that Tony Pollard finds a way to kind of sneak in here, especially with how the NFC running backs are stacked up right now?
I don't see any universe that Tony Pollard gets in. I wish that I was wrong, but I just don't see it. The names are starting to trickle in, by the way, Tony, Catalina. As far as Dallas Cowboys Pro Bowlers, this is why we were here, why we showed up tonight, why we lifted all those weights. Still no news on the Cowboys. Let's see here. Looking Here's a tweet from NFL Total Access. Notable first-time Pro Bowl selections. Trayvon Diggs is a Pro Bowler for the Dallas Cowboys. So we know one name. Dallas Cowboys second-year cornerback Trayvon Diggs leads the NFL in interceptions, Tony Catalina, a first-time Pro Bowler. You love to see that 10 interception number. Congratulations to Trayvon Diggs.
I mean, well deserved. I mean, you think it's an absolute slam dunk. He has been on fire this year, early defensive player of the year candidate, and it's absolutely well deserved. And I think this will not be the first offseason, reward or award he's going to see, because he's right in there for the All Pro, and he's right on there for defensive player of the year. So well deserved for Trayvon Diggs.
So we're still looking here. Cooper Kupp is a Pro Bowler. I'm just kind of tracking everything coming out on Twitter. I think the Eagles might only have one Pro Bowler. I think it's just Darius Slay, and Jalen Ramsey also made it. So that's three of the corners on the NFC side. Justin Herbert's a Pro Bowler. No shock there. Not that we care about the AFC. Still only have the one Cowboy. There's no way that this is the only Cowboy to make the list, but we've got Trayvon Diggs. Mojo the Only says you knew that was coming, or it was happening, of course. This was never going to not happen. The Kansas City Chiefs have 6 Pro Bowlers, so I don't think that the Cowboys will have the most. I know somebody said that. I just can't see the Cowboys getting 6 or 7 even. I think the Cowboys are going to top out at 5. So we've got, word on some teams. Cowboys going a little bit slow here. The Indianapolis Colts, Darius Leonard, Jonathan Taylor, Quentin Nelson, DeForest Buckner, Kenny Moore, Ryan Kelly, and Luke Rhodes. Wow, holy crap. The Colts have 7 Pro Bowlers, the Indianapolis Colts do. Okay, we've got, this is a tweet from the NFL. Pro Bowl running backs. We forgot, Tony Catalina, James Conner when it came to Arizona running back. So the NFC running backs, Aaron Jones, not a part of this mix. Dalvin Cook, James Conner, and Alvin Kamara. So no Ezekiel Elliott in the Pro Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys. Again, not that we're shocked by that. I went out on a limb. Hey, I'm just trying to make the show interesting. That's on me. But so we've got quarterbacks. The NFC quarterbacks, we did nail this, Tony Catalina. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Kyler Murray. In case anybody cares about the AFC side, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. A little bit of an interesting pick there for Lamar Jackson, whatever. But no Dak Prescott officially. Are you surprised by that?
I'm not surprised. I think we were on the money there with the Aaron Rodgers, Tom, and Kyler Murray. I think they were, pretty safe to say those are the 3 picks. And Dak's play hasn't been Pro Bowl caliber as of late. So it's pretty standard.
No Cowboys fan is upset about having landed Micah Parsons in the draft. However, a lot of people, Tony, you remember once upon a time, wanted, Kyle Pitts. He's a Pro Bowler for the Atlanta Falcons. And we now have our official tally, Tony Catalina, tweet coming out from John Machota of The Athletic. The Cowboys have 5 Pro Bowlers. We nailed it. First of all, big time. We already got Trayvon Diggs, but congratulations to Micah Parsons, rookie, linebacker, defensive end, defensive tackle, cornerback, defensive star extraordinaire, headed to the Pro Bowl in his first season in the NFL. We already mentioned Tony Catalina, Trayvon Diggs. You and I basically nailed this entire thing. The 3rd Dallas Cowboys Pro Bowler is, in fact, Zach Martin, who is heading back to the Pro Bowl for the 1 millionth time in a row. So congratulations to him. We also have a Pro Bowl selection for Tyron Smith. We've got 2 Dallas Cowboys offensive linemen, and Tony Catalina, they are the only offensive players to make the Pro Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys, which means the 5th one after Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, Tyron Smith, and Zach Martin is, in fact, your boy, Brian Anger. Let's
my boy. That's my guy. I mean, hey, listen, it's well deserved. And I think, sometimes not you, RJ, but I think sometimes people forget there's a 3rd phase in the NFL, right? And to a team. And Brian Anger is well deserved. I mean, look at the stats there. He's averaging 48 yards a punt, 63 for a long, and he's putting offenses in a bind when he gets them inside the 20. And sometimes he's got that coffin corner kick going. So well deserved. And I'm glad to see punters are people too, and he's getting the respect he deserves.
It really is nice to see Brian Anger. You mentioned punters are people too. Brian Anger, many people may have heard Rich Eisen say that before. The punters are people too. It's kind of his thing. It was actually Brian Anger who was the origin of that. During the 2012 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars selected Brian Anger in the third round. You know what that's like, when a kicker, punters drafted, what's going on, blah, blah. And Rich Eisen very famously said, hey, punters are people too. Brian Anger, congratulations to him. Good to see a Cowboys specialist that wears number 5 back in the Pro Bowl. It had been a long time since we had something going on in that capacity. So, Tony Catalina, I ask you, as we work behind the scenes now at Blogging the Boys to get all of our content out, which selection are you most surprised by? If you're watching along with us, please let us know. Cowboys with 5 Pro Bowlers. We've got Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, and Brian Anger. Who surprises you the most, Tony?
The talent doesn't, the talent is obviously there, but it surprised me a little bit with the injury history is the Tyron Smith, right? He's missed some games. He's currently missing games as we speak. So I think that was a little bit of a respect pick there, a little bit of a reputation pick. And, make no bones about it. When Tyron Smith is out there playing and healthy, he is a man amongst boys, and he's been doing it for a long time. So just a little surprised just based on the injury. Because I think everybody else was virtually a slam dunk. I mean, Brian Anger, I guess I like the respect for him. So I guess that's a slight surprise because I didn't think that they would actually go that way. But yeah, I would have to say of all the guys that got picked, Tyron Smith might be the little bit of the surprise there.
I think I'm with you. It's very strange to be surprised about Tyron Smith being a Pro Bowl selection for the Dallas Cowboys. By the way, Tony, my computer is freaking out. Do you still have me? Am I still here? Have I disappeared?
You are still good. I still have you. No
Okay,
problems.
I think I'm good. Okay, my computer has stabilized as I send a message. Like I said, this is how the sausage gets made at Blogging the Boys, getting our post out on the site. So looking here at the situation, Anthony Sanders, another Anthony again, says, wow, Tyron made it. I can't disagree with that. I really think that is the most surprising one. I don't want to say it this way, but I think Tyron made it a little bit on reputation. I mean, and that's okay. That's all right. I don't, he shouldn't be ashamed of that or embarrassed by it. But this is a little bit of a reputation play. That wasn't enough to carry Zeke or Dak or Amari, for that matter, to a Pro Bowl selection. But yeah, this was a little, let's be a little bit honest here, Tyron. Maybe not your best year ever of all time. However, he did come back after missing basically all of last season and technically put forth a Pro Bowl year. So, if so facto, not mad. Ruse says Tyron is still good, but should not have made the Pro Bowl this year. I think we both agree, Tony.
100%. I mean, yeah, this is going to be one of those things where we always kind of do the Pro Bowl versus the All Pro. I think it's safe to say Tyron Smith is not going to be an All Pro player, but reputation alone can carry him with, in top, as well, that America's team and Cowboys are well represented, get Tyron Smith over the the finish line there. But yeah, like you said, come off injury off of last year, and make no bones about it, and can't snub your nose at it. He's a Pro Bowler, and it's in whether it's reputation or not, he's a starter in the Pro Bowl this year. So and that's good for Tyron.
It's good, and again, I'm not mad about this. I'm not upset. I'm not bothered. But we can be honest that this was probably a little bit, little bit of a gift. It's Christmas time. Tony, I know you're working on some photos for our social channel, so I'll let you get to that while I buy you some time. Mojo the Only says, well, thanks for the feed, RJ and Tony. Thanks for stopping by, Mojo the Only. If you just missed it for whatever reason, maybe you just got here, the Dallas Cowboys do have 5 Pro Bowlers on their team. Getting the list up for you right now here on our YouTube channel. 2 on offense, 2 on defense, and 1 on special teams, the all-important phase of the game. John Fossil getting on the board finally with a Pro Bowler on his team, and it was not Greg Zerlin that's got to eat him up inside, Tony. Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Brian Anger, the official 2022 Pro Bowlers for the Dallas Cowboys. Zach Martin, just seeing a tweet right now from Joy Epstein of USA Today. This is his 7th Pro Bowl. In fact, last year, Tony, was the only year of his career, and I'm being serious, the only time in Zach Martin's career, 2021 or 2020, excuse me, that he did not make the Pro Bowl. So he is back where he belongs. Zach Martin is and has been one of the best players on the Dallas Cowboys for a very long time. I'm working to get the entire Pro Bowl rosters open, by the way. The entire NFC one is certainly something that we're interested in. But Zach Martin, what a beast, what a baller. I mean, how can you? I mean, who isn't aware of this at this point?
I mean, star guard in this league. I mean, when you talk about some of the best guards in football, Zach Martin's name gets brought up every single conversation. And we talked about it before. We thought he was a lock, and it was an easy pick for him. He was right up there with the impact that Trayvon Diggs has had and the impact that Micah Parsons has had. So it was an easy selection, and that wasn't that wasn't reputation. That is pure skill mixed with some respect across the league.
So Zach Martin, baller. You're right. Not the same thing as Tyron Smith, as far as, being a little bit of a respect play. But, hey, we've got the Cowboys Pro Bowler list, by the way, up here now. If you're watching with us live on our YouTube channel, obviously, if you're watching later, you're seeing this as well. A tweet from Dave Hellman of DallasCowboys.com, Tony Catalina. You see Micah Parsons, the top name on this list. He is just the 12th Dallas Cowboy in franchise history to make the Pro Bowl as a rookie. Again, Dave Hellman's tweet, Dave of DallasCowboys.com. The other 11 players who have made the Pro Bowl as rookies for the Dallas Cowboys, going from recent history all the way back to the origins of the Dallas Cowboys, I suppose. Last one to do it, actually, his current teammate in the linebacker room, Leighton Vander Esch, was a Pro Bowler back in 2018. Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott, both Pro Bowlers in 2016. Obviously, that was a successful year for the Cowboys. Zach Martin, a Pro Bowler in 2014. Like I said, except for last year, a Pro Bowler every single season of his career. So you've got the last three instances where a rookie has made the Pro Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys. Actually, four instances. It's basically the case this entire time. But anyway, forget the point I was about to make. Before Zach Martin, it was Nick Folk back in 2007, the current kicker of the New England Patriots. Once upon a time, a Dallas Cowboy. Everybody remembers the 53-yard field goal that he kicked twice against the Buffalo Bills. Emmitt Smith was also a Pro Bowler as a rookie, Tony Catalina, as was Everson Walls, Calvin Hill, Bob the Bullet Hayes, Mel Renfro, and Don Perkins. So pretty historic list that Micah Parsons is joining as a rookie Pro Bowler for the Cowboys.
I mean, like the history that this franchise has alone, Micah Parsons is right up there with the rookie season that would rival, pretty much anybody's at this point. And I kind of touched on it with Trayvon Diggs saying that I think that he has more accolades coming. Same thing for Micah Parsons. He the amount of respect this league has for him in such an early start to his career and just the way he's played and a man of many hats. I mean, he is right up there and he's getting all the praise that he deserves. And it's for a kid that just loves football. And that's what I love about Micah the most is he's a guy that just is absolutely all about football. And, I know he was excited to be a Pro Bowler and knew the chance to be a Pro Bowler. And I think this is the first of many for him.
Do you, Tony, as I know you're again struggling to get these, not struggling, you're hunting. Tony is hunting for photos. Again, this is, we got to wear many hats here at Blogging the Boys. Make sure we have everything ready. This is the first thing that Mike is going to earn this year, obviously, for the Cowboys. He's obviously going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's well in contention for Defensive Player of the Year. I think the fact that the Browns might miss the playoffs certainly hurts or hinders Myles Garrett's case. Ruse, honest right now, great point of honesty here, says, I really wanted Patrick Surtain, but I'm very happy with the way this played out. I don't think anybody is upset at this point. Obviously, a lot of people wanted Patrick Surtain, myself included. A lot of people wanted a cornerback. There was a lot of reason to want a cornerback, Tony, because, the Cowboys secondary had been terrible last year. I mean, it had been terrible for a long time. The Cowboys secondary was a big reason why they have not had success in other playoff years. They're going to be a playoff team, in all likelihood, Sunday afternoon, as soon as the noon games are over. And so to get Micah Parsons as kind of a third option, really a fourth option when you consider the fact that the Cowboys traded back in the draft, and for him to be what he's been, a Pro Bowler, going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year, maybe the fact that he's even challenging for Defensive Player of the Year, the fact that Micah Parsons has made Trayvon Diggs' 10 interceptions the second most impressive thing on this defense is really astounding.
It's crazy. I mean, it really is crazy to just it's for you to touch on it, like you said, we had a ton of where everybody in the, including myself included, I'll own this. I was looking cornerback. I was thinking cornerback first round for us to get Micah Parsons as like a third option. Sometimes sometimes destiny and fate is on your side a little bit there, and sometimes it points you in the direction of, listen, this is maybe what you want, but this is what you need right here. So at the end of the day, the Cowboys lucked into another pick, and I think, mentioning QB1, Dak Prescott, we kind of lucked into that a little bit. It looks like Jerry Jones and the boys were looking at Paxton Lynch, and Dak falls all the way to the fourth round, and we luck up and grab him as well. So the Cowboys have a little history of this.
Let's go ahead and take a look. Just kind of everyone here. Not a look. I mean, I'll read it. The entire NFC Pro Bowl. So we've got at the quarterback position, we already mentioned Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Kyler Murray. No shock there. At running back, Dalvin Cook, James Conner, Alvin Kamara. Again, we went through that. At wide receiver, we were very, very, very close, Tony. Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams, not a surprise. Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson. Boom. The one that we got wrong, we thought maybe DeAndre Hopkins would squeak in there. It is Deebo Samuel of the San Francisco 49ers, although I don't know that it's fair to categorize him as just a wide receiver. Obviously, he does so much for that team. The two tight ends in the NFC to make the Pro Bowl, George Kittle and Kyle Pitts. I don't think anyone has any contention with that. I think he could make if Dalton Schultz had caught a few more touchdowns, I think he could make a case for him as maybe being a benefit of that Cowboys juice. At offensive tackle, we've got Trent Williams, Tristan Wirfs, and Tyron Smith. Obviously, at guard, Zach Martin, Brandon Scherf, who Micah Parsons owns, and Ollie Marpet from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We have two centers, obviously, Jason Kelsey of the Philadelphia Eagles and Ryan Jensen of the Buccaneers, and Kyle Juszczyk of the San Francisco 49ers is the fullback. On the defensive side of the ball, defensive end, and we'll come back here. I have an idea when it comes to players that were snubbed on the Cowboys. We've got Nick Bosa, Brian Burns, and Cam Jordan. Interior linemen on the NFC side, Aaron Donald, Jonathan Allen, and Kenny Clark. Outside linebackers, Chandler Jones, Robert Quinn, a Pro Bowler for the Chicago Bears, by the way, and Shaq Barrett. At corner, we've got Trayvon Diggs, Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, Marshawn Lattimore. And then at free safety, Quandre Diggs. Strong safety, Budda Baker and Harrison Smith. Special teams, we already mentioned. Brian Anger is the punter. Matt Gay of the Rams is the kicker. By the way, that is the kicker that the Rams have had to settle on after moving on from Greg Zuerlein. I don't want to make this a negative thing, but it is what it is. Josh Harris of the Falcons, the long snapper. Jakeem Grant, your return specialist. JT Gray of the New Orleans Saints, your special teamer. Did I gloss over Micah Parsons' name? By the way, he's not listed here, which is silly. But Micah Parsons, obviously a Pro Bowler on the NFC side of things. Tony.
I mean, I don't think there's many, as far as you ask me my opinion, I don't think there's many surprises there. I think, I think
by the
we
way,
were on the money.
sorry, like I am looking here, Tony. Micah's name is not on this list from NFL.com, which is weird.
Man.
But go ahead.
I mean, that's weird. They better give our man that proper respect that he is due. So put him on that list. But yeah, I don't think there is many two surprises. I think we were pretty much on the money with some of these picks and some of these, the quarterbacks, we kind of knew it. The wide receivers were kind of easy a little bit. The running back kind of got us. I don't know how we forgot about James Conner, because James Conner is like leading the league in touchdowns at this point. But I as far as the talent goes, I think we nailed it for at least the Cowboys side of it. What we thought was going to happen, and it's it's pretty eye opening to kind of look at it and see exactly what is out there. And I think we're both a little, not, I wouldn't say a little surprised, but I think it's a little eye opening that there were no skill position offensive players for the Cowboys. I just feel Amari Cooper doesn't get the respect he totally deserves.
I don't think we're surprised. I don't want to put words in your mouth, Tony. I think it just feels unnatural. You know what I mean? Like it makes logical sense that there aren't any, but it just feels unnatural based on like our entire lives. You know what I mean? It's weird to have the Cowboys, like we live in a world where the Cowboys have 10 wins before Christmas. They have 5 Pro Bowlers, and none of them are skill position players on offense, and they are going to lock up the NFC East with multiple games left to go. It's an unnatural feeling. It doesn't feel right. It runs counter to everything we've ever known all throughout our lives.
The shoe is usually on the other foot, right? Where
right.
There's no defensive players. It's all offense, and it's all high powered. We're in a different time and a different era right now, RJ.
It's foreign, it's weird, it's awkward in some senses. Let's see here. DeMarco, great question. How did Patterson not make it? Talking about Cordero from the Atlanta Falcons. That is such a great question. A definite snub. But on that subject, Tony Catalina, which Dallas Cowboys got snubbed? If you're watching along with us live, we would love to hear it. If you're watching after the fact or listening after the fact, let us know. Tony is on Twitter at Tony_Catalina. I am on Twitter at RJ Ochoa. Tony Catalina, which Dallas Cowboys were snubbed from the Pro Bowl?
I think this one's easy, and I think I'm gonna gain some fans off of this. But Randy Gregory, I want to bang on the table. I want to stand on the table for Randy Gregory. Having 94 out there, after everything he's been through, forget the story, right? I mean, forget the off the field stuff and rooting for Randy Gregory as a person. On the field, he made such an impact, and he's continued to make such an impact. When Tank Lawrence was out and Randy Gregory was out there, the Cowboys still had, the ability to pass rush. And then Micah Parsons ended up being so much more than they thought he actually could be, as a rookie. But Randy Gregory is a baller. He is he plays with relentless effort. He's got, if we watched as much as I do, and I know you do, RJ, you watch the sideline videos like the Cowboys post. Randy Gregory is the humor. He is the swagger. He's the attitude of that team. And it's funny to just kind of see the rest of the team feed off of what Randy Gregory does. So if you're telling me my number one snub, I'm still banging on the table for 94. And I hope that nobody plays in this game because we're in the Super Bowl. But if that doesn't happen, he better get in as an alternate.
I almost don't want that. Like I do, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be picky, but if the Cowboys aren't playing in the Super Bowl and they have to play in the Pro Bowl, like I don't want Randy to have to settle for secondhand Pro Bowlness. Like maybe that's just some pride, but like he deserved it, on first measure. And so like I would take it, don't get me wrong, but I would be upset. And so that just kind of is what it is. And everybody's noticing, by the way, that Micah Parsons is missing from NFL.com's list. It very strange. But he is a Pro Bowler. I don't know why he is absent from the list that I just read off. Maybe there's a clerical error there. Now, Beirut Wedding says, honestly, nobody got snubbed. Not that they weren't deserving, but they missed a lot of time. Now, Tony, you can make that argument, obviously, against Randy Gregory, that he missed time. I mean, Tyron Smith missed time. You know what I mean? But like we said, I mean, that kind of reinforces the idea that Tyron kind of made it a little bit off of reputation. You know what I mean? I think if there is a person or a player that was snubbed, it's Randy Gregory. That's the one. But to Beirut Wedding's point, I mean, we do a lot of like drafts and stuff. You know what I mean? Here at Blogging the Boys and our roundtables and things like that. I wouldn't be able to come up with a second option. I can't come up with anybody other than Randy Gregory that was even partly snubbed from the Pro Bowl.
It's fair. I mean, especially when you try to look at the offense. I mentioned Amari Cooper, but that's just how much respect that I have for him, that I feel like and I feel like the corners around the league know him as, the route runner and how he plays. So I was a little partial to Amari Cooper, but there is, when you look at the roster and who didn't make it, there really aren't great arguments, like you said, to really to fight and to crawl and scratch for somebody else to make it other than Randy Gregory. I mean, like I said, I truly believe that he was a Pro Bowler. I think he should have made it on the first accord, but anybody else, it'd be a hard pressing conversation to try to fight to get them on that team.
Yeah, like I'd be like lying, you know what I mean? I'd be stretching to say like, well, it's ridiculous that you left Amari Cooper off the Pro Bowl ballot, or CeeDee Lamb or whatever. I mean, I would love for that to not be true, but it would. I mean, it's tough. By the way, Ruse asks where I got my list. I'm looking at the list at NFL.com, and Micah Parsons' name is not on there. That does seem to be an error because the Cowboys have announced him as a Pro Bowler, so there's just no way that that's not the case. Again, the website must be a little bit different. TSP Bolt says, I feel like Devontae Adams is underrated for some people, but I'm glad that he is there and Aaron Rodgers. TSP, we'll both acknowledge that they're great players, but I'm not happy to see this. I mean, I'm okay being a little bit salty, Tony Catalina. I don't know if you agree. But look, I mean, it's been that kind of year for the Cowboys, right? Like I think, if this list or if this came out after the Patriots game, I think Dak's a Pro Bowler. I think Amari's a Pro Bowler. I think CeeDee's a Pro Bowler. I think Zeke might be a Pro Bowler. I think Dalton Schultz might be a Pro Bowler then. I mean, they just they fell off. I mean, they fell off dramatically from a production standpoint. And you mentioned it at the top that there is like a fantasy element to the Pro Bowl, and that's really hurt them, obviously, in some senses. And so that's why, and you know what? Kudos to the defense. Like, they have dealt with a lot of crap over the years. Like, you suck, like you're just being carried, blah, blah. They have all the recognition in the world now that this is their team, this is their season. I'm happy for the likes of, I know DeMarcus Lawrence isn't here, but and I know Micah is new and Trayvon's basically new. I'm happy for them that this is kind of, they're the cover of this, DVD. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it's, the guys who got in, like we said, not to kind of repeat myself, but the ones that got in, we knew were kind of shoe-ins. We knew that these guys were deserving. And it's funny, not funny, but it's kind of crazy to see this Pro Bowl voting is kind of how we felt about the Cowboys offense coming out of the bye week, right? We thought that this offense was going to light the world on fire and they were going to have filled with stars and Pro Bowlers that, guys that were going to get, the recognition that they deserve. But since the bye week, it's been a complete polar opposite in that sense where, where has the offense been? So this Pro Bowl is kind of proven what everybody's kind of been saying about this team. It's been the defense that's kind of been keeping them in games and having them win, and the offense is the one struggling because we didn't get a single skill player. So I think it's, in this case, the Pro Bowl kind of got it right for this Cowboys team.
Do you think, Tony, that Randy Gregory deserved it more than Tyron Smith?
I would agree with that. I think that's a safe bet this year. And like I said, if we're not talking about reputation, we're not talking about, stature and year to year. We're talking about right now, Randy Gregory, in my eyes, is a Pro Bowler.
Do you think that Tyron Smith deserved it over, I don't know. Is there this, let me rephrase the question. Is there an offensive player that deserved it more than Tyron Smith?
No. No, because Tyron Smith is so pivotal to the offense. I mean, I think that comes with the reputation, comes with that respect that, when Tyron Smith's out there, the offensive line is different. That left side is more secure than it, than most teams. And he's been doing it for a long time. So I guess that does come with the reputation and the respect factor. But Tyron Smith is one of the most valuable and most pivotal players on that offensive unit.
Yeah, like I really would love to like make an argument here that, like, you know what, Amari deserved it more than Tyron. You know what I mean? I just can't. I mean, and I don't even think Tyron's that deserving. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
Right.
it's just kind of the case, and it's, again, we're not here to bash or bag on the Cowboys offense. It's just kind of who they've been this year. They've been carried, and that's very strange. And it's a conflict for us, internally, but that's who they've been. So let's before we get out of here, Tony, let's rank them from most deserving to least deserving. And again, we'll put the full list up on here. The most deserving Dallas Cowboys Pro Bowler is, I think we both agree here,
It's got to be Micah Parsons, but I would throw Trayvon at 1B.
Wait a minute. You got to pick one. You got to just pick one.
All right. Micah Parsons is definitely one for sure.
Okay.
But I don't feel comfortable putting Trayvon at 2, and that's just out of pure respect. I feel like he's 1B. The way he's played, I think he's exceeded the expectations tenfold to what we thought. We all thought Trayvon Diggs could have a good second year. I don't know if any of us expected this type of second year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, this really, I mean, I think if I hate this game. Like, if this hadn't happened, because it did happen, but like, if not for the interceptions, I mean, I don't know. Like, if Trayvon had 4 interceptions, I don't know that we'd be feeling like amazing about his year. You know what I'm saying? That's obviously been a big kind of like, factor in what his season has been. And I mean, the guy's got 10 interceptions. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, give him his credit. So I think that the most deserving from a result standpoint and contextual standpoint are Micah 1, Trayvon 2. So we're in agreement here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So then who's number 3? If we're ranking them most to least deserving on the Cowboys as far as the Pro Bowlers are concerned, number 3.
Zach Martin.
See, I'm gonna disagree. I think it's Brian Anger. I think Brian Angers has been a better punter than Zach Martin has been a better guard this year. And that's not to disparage Zach Martin at all. I think Brian Angers just been that awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of where we're at here.
I mean, I'd love to hear that because, like you said, special teams is important, and the third phase and having three phases be, efficient is important. But this team is so much better when Zach Martin's out there. I mean, his presence is crazy. I think he's one of the. So you're telling me that Brian Anger is played. I want to put words in your mouth. I guess I'm just asking. Zach Martin being a top 2 or 3 guard in the NFL, you think Brian Anger had more of an impact or has been more important than Zach Martin in that position?
Yeah, and I realize Zach doesn't play quarterback or anything, and I realize Zach has also had to deal with adjustments around him along the offensive line. But the Cowboys have really needed Brian Anger because of their struggles on offense. I mean, so he has, I think, and he plays a position that in some weird way can impact the game in a larger sense than Zach Martin individually. So I mean, I think Brian Anger's bailed them out. I mean, their offense has been really bad at times, and Brian Anger has been able to not put them in a hole. And the Cowboys finally moved on from Chris Jones, took him forever. And obviously there's been, there was Hunter Nicewander, obviously in between there. But I think Brian Anger, kudos. You really did it. And you know what, by the way, Tony, on the subject of Brian Anger, whether you think he's 3 or 4 in this context, remember all the discussion in the preseason about how John Fossil wanted to get his guy, Johnny Hecker, how the Rams were going to cut him for salary cap relief. Thank goodness that did not happen.
I mean, sometimes, like I said, we said it a few minutes ago, the Cowboys have lucked up in some situations here, and having Brian Anger, if he was their second choice or their first choice, he's a Pro Bowler, and you got to feel good about it right now.
By the way, tweet from Mike Sando of The Athletic that inside linebackers were left off the NFL website. So that was why everybody don't panic on Micah. Obviously you've got Micah and Bobby Wagner of the Seahawks, the other choice in the NFC. On the AFC side, Darius Leonard and Denzel Perryman. So we both agree that Tyron is the least deserving player of the Dallas Cowboys Pro Bowlers. That's okay, Tyron. You've done enough for us. We're good with it. 5 Pro Bowlers, Tony. Any kind of final thoughts on that?
I think that, I think 4 of them are well deserved, and I think Tyron Smith is a Pro Bowler every year in and out. If he was healthy and he didn't miss games, I think he'd be in this conversation either way. So I don't really have an issue with anybody on the list. I don't think, other than Randy Gregory, I don't think there really is much of an argument for anybody else. So all in all, not a bad job, not a bad list in 2021.
Congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys Pro Bowlers, Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Brian Anger. Congratulations to Tony Catalina, the first to believe in Brian Anger among all people in the universe. Do you feel good? Feel good about yourself, Tony?
I feel vindicated.
Tony, who were your players when we did the 3? For anyone who's confused, we did a draft on a roundtable recently, and it was the Cowboys players you trust the most. And Brian Anger was your 3rd pick. You had Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence. Who would have thought that of that group you would have only had 1 Pro Bowler, and it would be Brian Anger?
You kidding me? Like, that's crazy.
So well done. Well done. Well, congratulations to the Cowboys. Thanks everybody for stopping by, checking this out. If you caught it live, caught the rewatch, or listened to the podcast, Cowboys can clinch the NFC East this week. So let's have a good time. Tony, final word belongs to you. Make it a good one.
Hey, listen, this is all fun and good, and we're happy to have this, but we hope none of them play in the game, and this is just a side note and a nominee later on down the road.
Well said. Congratulations to the Cowboys, and let's beat Washington. Thanks for joining us, everybody. See you next time.